Yo, uh, I hope it's on YouTube right now. This live stream thing isn't the greatest. Um, oh, yay, we're live. Apparently, I can't really see the video playback, but apparently we're live. So I'm just gonna like rock it and see what's Gucci, see what's happening. Um, all right, let me get a quick drink of water. Man, so excited right now because I'm this much closer to releasing the Natural System on February 5th, and I'm really excited because it's gonna have some of the best content that I've ever fucking put out. So I'm super excited to actually put it out there. Oh, yo, Jay, what's up? What's up, my man? Um, Unfortunately, I didn't let anyone know about this live stream, so I guess I'm just gonna do the live stream and everyone can watch it on the playback here on YouTube. But yeah, I forgot to actually remind everyone that the live stream was happening today through the email list and on Facebook and everything like that. So anyone who's here, welcome, and I'm gonna make this super quick because I do have to get back to work. I have to integrate the payment systems on the natural system and make sure everything is cool and make sure that you guys are gonna get a massive discount in the first 10 days. I'm gonna like make it really affordable for everyone. So that's that. And what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is about the four male archetypes. Now, this is something that I actually learned from the book uh, King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. Okay, and that's a book that goes is about the four male archetypes. But because it's a little bit confusing, I'm gonna really hammer in the points that what the four male archetypes actually are in modern day society, like who you need to be this masculine presence that is actually attractive to women. Okay, so the first one is the king, and the king pretty much means that you have to be grounded and centered. You're not a reactive person. Pretty much anything that is thrown your way, you view it with equanimity. You view it equanimously. It's like you don't label it as bad or as good. You label it as what it is, and you work around it to make it something that is positive, to make it something that is to your advantage. So the king is the first male archetype, which is someone who is actually grounded and centered. Now, the reason why a lot of people don't have this is because we all have this archetype within us. But a lot of people take this too far and they become the tyrant. They become the person who's always trying to keep things centered and is always trying to make sure everything is okay, which doesn't work like that. The king who is centered and grounded is not someone who's trying to keep himself, keep everything around him centered and grounded, but all he is doing is keeping within him everything that is centered and grounded. So things outside of your control, you're not trying to control it. And this is something that a lot of women find attractive because if you're someone who's centered, if you're someone who's unreactive, it shows that in situations of threat, in situations where uh, you're going to be faced with troubles, you're able to remain centered and you're able to think your way through it a lot faster. So that's the first one, which is being that king, being that grounded and centered male. The second one is the warrior. Okay, and the warrior is someone who is actually very purposeful and focused. You take a lot of aggressive action, you're a very ambitious person, and for most people, we have one or two of the archetypes more than the others, or we have them in the right place. So the warrior is someone who's purposeful and focused and is going towards their goals, is going towards their ambitious desires, and is able to take aggressive action. So how does this look like when you're actually talking with girls? The guy who can lead very fast, the guy who is not fidgety in his actions, you can grab her hand and say, "Let's go." The guy who, when he says something, he doesn't apologize for it. He's not apologetic about it, when she reacts negatively towards it. He is going towards what he wants. He's non apologetic, he's aggressive, he's purposeful, and he's focused. So you have to also have this male archetype within yourself, which is actually showing your ambitions, showing your desires, showing that you can be someone who takes aggressive action, and you can be that leader. And the reason why this one is really attractive is because if you're able to show that you can be ambitious, um, with whether it's like, let's say I'm talking to the girl and I'm talking about what I desire in my business, in my life, um, and what my mission and purpose is. That's very attractive because it shows a good future trajectory of having more resources in the future. Now, let's say another one is I really want the girl, right? And I continue persisting, I continue talking. This shows again that you have that warrior mentality where you can take aggressive action and be very, very focused on your target. Now, this gets really bad when it's uncalibrated. So, a lot of guys you see who are taking aggressive action and they're being too aggressive, they're being too overly touchy. Um, the thing that is bad about the warrior archetype is you lose the balance of your empathy. You lose the balance of understanding another person because you're too focused and purposeful. You're willing to push people aside and not work with them. So you have to be careful of this as well, and see within yourself what kind of archetype you have as I'm going through, and see how it's affecting you positively, what you can do to increase that archetype, and what you can do to make sure that it's not overtaking you. So again, the warrior, for example, the warrior archetype, you're someone who's so focused on his goal or his thing that he wants, his desire that he wants, that you no longer have any empathy. By the way, if you guys have any questions, I don't know if it's this way or that way, but leave it in the live stream comments right now, and I'll answer them at the end. Because once I get to the end and there's no questions, then I'm just gonna end the live stream. So if you have any questions as we're going through this, or if you think of anything, make sure to leave it, and then I'll go to the comments and answer it. Anyways, so that's the second archetype, which is the warrior archetype. And the third one is the creative master. Okay, and this is something that you need to have. This is something that you need to develop, matter of fact, especially if you're consistently going out and talking to girls. So the reason why is if you become too systematic, if you become um, too you're thinking too much about the process, okay? Um, then what happens is you're trying to follow this step-by-step process, and the girl can tell that you're trying to be super logical, but you're not willing to actually be more fluid in the way that you're doing things. So the creative master, the thing that he does is he understands that there's problems within a situation. So this is really helpful for when you're actually figuring out logistics. You have to be able to like completely fuck the process up, say fuck the process, fuck whatever I've learned, and go with your gut. Go with what feels right in the moment, and go with something that is innovated, that is outside of the box. So let's say you start a conversation and your instructor or whoever you listen to tells you to go indirect, and you go indirect and it doesn't work, and you persist and you persist and it persists and it doesn't work. At that moment, maybe it's better to just say fuck the entire process and actually go direct. Maybe that'll work. Who knows? The whole point of this is to experiment outside of your comfort zone, experiment outside of what you know, and become creative with the process to go towards mastery, to go towards new innovation and wisdom. And this is something that I have always done. That's why I'm creating the natural system, because it's something that came from me experimenting over and over again. I knew all the processes that was out there. I knew indirect game, direct game, all the stuff that is out there by different coaches. I knew it, and I've learned it, and I've experimented so much with it, to the point where I was able to, if I go into an interaction and one way doesn't work, I can be very fluid in my way of doing things and in my thinking, and it's very easy for me to navigate my way around. And this comes through experimentation. This comes from being open and humble and having humility. Um, and The negative thing about this, though, is once you become someone who is very, very easy to read people, once you become someone who has high social intelligence, high emotional intelligence, and you're able to manipulate people or influence people very easily, what happens is you start manipulating people, and this is when it becomes unethical. And so for me, whenever I'm doing something, again, great responsibility comes great or uh, with great power comes great responsibility. When it comes to me creating programs, when it comes to me creating different videos, I always make sure that there is a certain ethical aspect of it, that whatever I'm teaching is going to be for the good of people. So on whatever creative path you are in, you'll start to notice the more you innovate, the more you experiment, the more you come across people that you can influence a lot easier because you're creative. So you have to make sure that you still have that empathy where you're not manipulating other people. And then the last archetype is someone who's passionate and intimate, and this is the lover archetype. If you don't have this, none of the archetypes before it is going to matter. If you're someone who is grounded and centered, if you're someone who's purposeful and focused, if you're someone who is, creative and innovative and you're a master at your craft, none of it will matter to the girl if you're not able to show passion and intimacy. And this is massive. This is what I call arousal, actually creating that arousal between you guys, that it's always a win-win situation. It's always something that you guys are both winning from and experiencing together. So intimacy and being able to connect with the girl is very, very important if you want to be able to actually get girls. Doesn't matter if you're unreactive, doesn't matter if you are someone who's highly ambitious and successful, or if you're someone who can go through the process very easily. If the girl senses that you are not willing to connect, if you're not willing to be intimate, if you're not willing to be vulnerable, if you're not willing to show passion, then it's never, ever going to work. And that's the simple truth. And so this is what you essentially have to become within these four archetypes. You have to be able to implement all these four and become this person, and that's what your masculine core is. Someone who's grounded and centered, someone who's purposeful and focused, a guy who is creative and going towards mastery, and can also show passion and intimacy throughout his path. And because of this, you're able to show that masculinity, and a girl is going to fall with you very, very easily. And because a lot of people are not, don't have these four archetypes within themselves. So the problem, however, with the passionate and intimate being the lover archetype can come when you are too passionate, when you're too intimate, and this is where neediness comes from. If you're someone who's trying to show passion all the time, you're trying to show that you like the girl, you're trying to show that you want to be with her, then it shows that you need the thing to work in order to strengthen you, in order to strengthen that archetype. And that's when you're no longer at your masculine core, you're no longer at your masculine desire, because the first archetype, which is the king, is not there anymore. You're not centered and grounded. The second archetype, which is purposeful and focused, is not there anymore because you're no longer ambitious about your desires. And the third archetype, which is the creative master, is not there anymore because you're following one process, which is just passion, like I want you, I need you. And this is when girls get really, really unattracted to you. So all these four archetypes work together in one thing, and you have to be able to implement all of them together to be able to show that masculinity that the girl actually craves. So that's pretty much it. That's the four archetypes. There's nothing else to it. You have to be able to implement all of these and also know the weaknesses of each of them. Otherwise, you won't be able to be in your masculine desire. And obviously, you'll never be perfect. Like, you'll never be always grounded and centered. You'll never always be purposeful and focused. You'll never always be, creative with the process. You'll never always be, passionate and showing your intimacy and vulnerability. But the point is to go towards these values as a man and to try to have these characteristics in place where it's always creating win-win relationships, and you're always seeking first to understand and to be understood. So if you're able to have these four archetypes within yourself, then you're going to be an extremely attractive person. All right, so that's pretty much it. And this was probably the quickest stream that I've had, but it's I thought I would do it because I do it stream every Sunday, and uh, yeah, I thought it was kind of cool because I was going through all my books again and rereading a bunch of stuff, and it reminded me of that, so I wanted to make a video of it. Let's go through this piece. Hello Mo, what's up? Interesting. My nuts itch. What do I do? Sounds like an STD. I would check that. I would get that checked. Sorry, what book was it? Okay, I'll show you the book actually. Right there. This is the book. King, Warrior, Magician, Lover by Robert Moore and Douglas Gillette. I think Douglas Gillette. Rediscovering the Archetypes of the Mature Masculine. And this book also goes into one thing that I really love about this. It goes into uh, first you are the boy. You know, first you are someone who is considered the boy, and you have all these different boy tendencies, which is like being a tyrant, being someone who is benevolent, being someone who is uh, always trying to gain attention, being someone who is always needy of certain things. And in order to get into your masculine core, you need to kind of kill that boy by ensuring that whatever that boy needs is not met. And once you kill that boy, then you can work on your archetypes, which is the king, warrior, magician, lover. And that way you'll be at your most masculine core. And to girls, it's the most attractive thing. So, that's pretty much it. Thanks, man. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's an amazing, amazing book. I'm wondering whether I should just make these live streams like book reviews because I read a book a week, and it would be kind of cool to do book reviews on this and relate it to how you can actually become a better, more attractive guy. So, uh, comment and let me know. And I'm going to keep this one very short at 20 minutes. And I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for joining me on this, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.